has everybody unbelievable today, man. I can't wait to watch the tape and enjoy it.
That was fun as hell, boy.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, I love every single one of y'all in this huddle.
You too.
All right, that's love over fear right there.
Yep.
That's what it looked like. All right, it's never about them, it's about us every single week, one at a time, baby. Let's go get it.
Yeah.
Niners on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
That's from the 49ers. You heard the voices of both Kyle Shanahan and Fred Warner. Love over fear. I'll take that any day of the week. And that's kind of the vibe you get out of this locker room right now. I also like hearing him say, and I know teams say this all the time, it's always about us. It's not about them. The larger point being that, like, block out the noise, block out everything else going on. It's always about us. That's only true if you are the best team. What's funny to me, and this is a very pro athlete thing, I don't rip it because I get it. Pro athletes, by nature, have achieved unbelievable levels of success at their craft.
Think about that.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a pro football player, you are one of the best football players on the planet. And you're probably a ferociously fit and strong athlete.
Correct. So how hard would it be for that person to admit, oh, that other guy or that other team is better than us? Teams don't usually do that. Players don't usually do that. It's always like, no. We made mistakes.
Yeah.
We caused it. Serena Williams was famous for this, but for her it was actually true because she's the best. But if she ever lost, she'd go to a press conference and you'd never hear her be, well, I mean, she just beat me. It's like, no, I messed up, and so I lost, and that would trigger some people. This one's funny to me, though. Micah Parsons is absolutely one of the best defensive players in the game. We know this. And I like Micah. His podcast has brought to light some interesting stuff in recent weeks. He was one of the first players to really start saying, hey, Brock Purdy, can we stop with the whole, like, oh, product of the system? This guy is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But some of the stuff that Micah said yesterday, I mean, you tell me what you think. Quote, I don't think the 49ers are at a higher level than us. I think we're the same caliber playoff team. Same talent, same standards. I just feel like we need to reconsider and fix some things. The score doesn't really show what happened out there.
Well, the last part of it is the laughable part for me. Now, he can think that they're at the same level, and I don't believe that they are at the same level, but to say that, you know, what happened on the field, the score does not indicate what happened on the field is completely false because the 49ers played 47 minutes of offense and 13 minutes of we've beaten you, here are our number twos. And if you look at the snap counts, there's guys who played 11 snaps last night who never play, just straight up backups who came onto the field because they let everybody play. They called off the Dogs up 42-10. So you're right. The score doesn't really indicate what happened on the field because you should have lost 60-10.
Right, or at least 49-10, which would have been a little bit more appropriate.
I think 56-10.
Maybe.
I think you would have scored.
If they wanted it to.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I guess what he's saying is not wrong.
I guess.
But it's wrong because he's saying it in the wrong way.
Look, when you see games, there's always, it's so funny. I do this all weekend going to soccer games. You know, my daughter plays, and you got the whole parent circuit, and everybody's going out to soccer games, and they're coming from games. Oh, my son played over here, my daughter played over there, and people are just going, oh, how'd the game go this morning? Oh, we should have won. But, and then you go into what, and it's like everybody thinks that. You always think that your team should have won because you're not looking at the game through the perspective of the other person. So that's fine if Micah Parsons thinks they should have won. The problem is the Niners didn't win 24-17. They won 42-10 and stopped playing in the fourth quarter. Same talent? No. Not even close.
No.
It's not even close. Micah, are you talented enough to be on the Niner defense? Yeah. Anybody else? Very few.
Right.
Very few. You tell me go position by position in these two games.
Sure.
Tell me how many Niners you'd swap out for their counterpart.
Yeah, not many. Not many at all.
Micah literally might be one of the only ones.
I was thinking about CeeDee Lamb,
Okay.
but like CeeDee versus Brandon Aiyuk, that's close right now.
Well, same draft class, same round. And CD has had, I guess,
He's had bigger games.
well, I think he's got the resume over Brandon.
Yep.
But only in spots. Only in
Correct.
spots.
And again,
There
it
are
comes
certain-
down to what Fred Warner was talking about in that soundbite that we played on the way in, and it's about what you were saying, the humility and the unity. Brandon Aiyuk understands now what his role is on this team, and he plays at a consistent level. He's a better blocker than CeeDee Lamb is.
Yep.
And so in terms of fit for the 49ers, I would take Aiyuk over CeeDee Lamb.
Just looking at this, okay. Brandon Aiyuk has 2,967 career yards and 20 touchdowns. CD, 3,700 yards, 21 touchdowns.
Okay, so about
he's
800
got
more
800 more yards
and one touch.
And one more touchdown. Yeah. 287 catches versus 215 catches. CD over Brandon. Now, Brandon also spent more than half a year in Kyle Shanahan's doghouse. So there's also been some injury stuff there. CD's played 4 more games
right.
than Brandon.
And Dallas,
I mean-
the offense that Dallas runs, which is a ton of 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, they look to throw it a lot more. Brandon Aiyuk plays for a team that loves to run the football, so he's not going to get as many opportunities.
CD has also been, starting at year 2, he was a clear wide receiver 1. They traded Amari Cooper.
Right.
Brandon Aiyuk has been next to Deebo Samuel.
And now he's wide receiver 1.
He's traditional wide receiver 1.
Right.
I'm still not sure he's wide receiver 1. Like 2 weeks ago when the Giants were in town, and I know he was out, but like Deebo had every bit of a look of wide receiver 1.
I think when both are on the field and they run a lot of 2 wide receiver sets, if you're looking to make a big play in the pass game involving a throw down the field,
Brandon.
it's going to be Brandon.
Agreed.
If you're looking to get the ball in the hands of a guy who Collinsworth last night said he's all thighs, I would hate to have to tackle that guy.
He is.
And I thought that was a hilarious descriptor. But if you want to get the ball to a guy who can get the yak and make a play, inside the 5-yard area, it's going to be Deebo.
Look, there's also bias because each of these guys were drafted by their team. Their fan base loves their guy. But I just think largely, resume aside, if you offered to 49er fans right now, would you trade Brandon Aiyuk for CeeDee Lamb? Your answer would largely be no. No. I'm not wanting CeeDee Lamb instead of Brandon Aiyuk.
And you wouldn't give up Greenlaw or Warner for Van Der Esch, who's a
Nope.
very good player.
Nope.
And you wouldn't give up Trent Williams for their left tackle Smith, who's a very good player.
No, tell me like it's Micah on the opposite edge of Nick Bosa is literally,
That's your upgrade.
if Diggs were healthy, sure, Diggs would make the 49ers. Micah would make the 49ers starting lineup.
You wouldn't give up Mooney for Gilmore.
Nope. Not giving up, obviously, McCaffrey over Pollard. Purdy over Dak. Don't even get me freaking started. Kittle over Jake Ferguson. Same talent? Well, you're kidding me, Micah. There's 22 starters. 22 starters. I think 2 of you could make the Niners starting lineup.
And let's not even get into laminated play sheet versus
Oh, God.
looking flummoxed and baffled.
Seriously, great point.
And even, the kicker, their young, unproven kicker versus our unproven kicker.
The one who hasn't missed yet?
Their kicker's only missed once.
Okay.
So I'm
That's
still
one
taking
more-
Jake Moody.
That's one more than Moody.
You know what? Anger and Wisnowski, 888-957-9570. Let's debate.
Break it down.
Because Anger, I think he went to Cal. He's a good punter. I think he's top 5 in net punting this year.
Sweet. He gets more work than
Good punter.
Wisnowski does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's 3.
Niners don't even need a punter last night, Micah.
They got 99 problems and a Mitch ain't one.
Nicely played.
We do know that. That's a Willard original.
We're not done with Micah. Micah's got a podcast.
Bonus Micah?
He's got a podcast called On the Edge. Get it?
I
On
do.
the Edge. So George Kittle last night, And what was it? What did the shirt exactly say? Just F Dallas or what? What did it say?
Yeah, it said F Dallas, and it has the Dallas star on his undershirt. So he pulled up his jersey after scoring a touchdown and showed it off to the fans.
F Dallas with a star on it.
Now, was
Kittle.
it just F, or was it F space, or
Did it actually say the word?
I think it was F and then like dashes.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Micah didn't like it.
George Kittle had 3 touchdowns on us, and he posted this thing to IG. He said F Dallas. I just feel like he's making it way more personal than it had to be. Kittle's my guy, but I'm going to say this. Laugh now, cry later. We got something for that. Just trust. If we see them again, just trust. And we're going to put it just like that. I ain't going to put too much on it. You're going to make it personal. We can make it personal. That's cool.
It's a Drake song. Laugh now, cry later. Shout out Drizzy Drake.
Okay.
I love it. Oh.
It's bulletin board material, Mark.
Oh, hold on, everybody. Let's play it again because now Micah's mad. Now let's try it and see what it looks like. I didn't know that Micah forgot to get mad. If only Micah had gotten mad, I bet the 32-point complete dismantling of your franchise from top to bottom would have looked different if only you had been a little bit perturbed.
You won't like me when I'm angry. When Micah gets mad,
Okay, Mike.
watch out.
Okay, Micah.
By the way, Kittle's shirt did actually have the full spelled out. I just saw the blurred out version on Twitter.
What a terrible example for
Exactly, Dibs.
America's youth. Awful. Isn't today's Kittle's birthday? You get a birthday for George Kittle today? Or sometime around now? I think I heard something about George Kittle's birthday. Give me a...
You would be correct.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
1993.
Bleep you, Micah. It's George's birthday. He's 30 today.
30.
Woo.
Man.
Huh.
Well, it only makes perfect sense then that they got him 3 touchdowns on his birthday eve.
Celebrated each decade with a tutty against the Cowboys.
And today they get to watch the tape, and I'm sure it's popcorn for everyone just sitting back and just laughing. It's an absolute comedy. You know, every movie that they've watched this year of their game film, it's been an enjoyable watch. I'm picturing them all like sharing popcorn and red vines and maybe some milk duds.
Yeah, this one's a romantic comedy, but kind of R-rated. A little bit of an R-rated romantic comedy
for sure.
last night, I thought. I mean, look, I again, Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in the game. I would never expect Micah to walk to a microphone and be like, they're better than us. What do you want me to do? Can't play with them. Of course he doesn't feel that way because through his eyes, it's not that way. He can. He's Micah freaking Parsons.
Well, what he really wants to say is my quarterback is not good enough. Our defense wasn't the problem. That quarterback had us out on the field every damn minute of that first half. That's the problem, guys. Our defense never had a chance because we were exhausted because our quarterback and our running back fumbles, our quarterback throws picks, our wide receiver, who is a superstar, can't get open. And so every damn 5 minutes, I got to find my helmet and get back out there and play football.
Although, I don't think you can say that when you also got no sacks and only 1 pressure. Like, Micah didn't do anything in this football game either. Listen to the quote again, though. Same talent, same standards. I just feel like we need to reconsider, ... He stops. And fix some things, ... The score doesn't really show what happened out there. Oh, Micah, and I'm sure no reporter did this, and I'm not ripping them because I wasn't there, and so I don't know what the flow of the conversation was. But if I heard a player last night say, we need to reconsider, I certainly would have tried to say, reconsider what? What? What do you want to reconsider? I wonder what he was getting at. That's not a word you usually hear after a loss. We need to reconsider. Reconsider what? What is it that you're doing the wrong way that led to this 32-point loss?
Reconsider why we gave our quarterback all that money when he's not that good.
Reconsider why we got on the flight?
Reconsider why we chose to defer and let San Francisco have the ball first.
Reconsider why we reshuffled our coaching staff so that Kellen Moore is now calling plays for the Chargers.
Reconsider why we decided that Mike McCarthy was the guy to lead us into the future.
I mean, I don't know. What is it you want to reconsider?
Reconsider letting Ezekiel Elliott go, even though he's closer to washed.
Exactly. Is no shade on Micah. He's a phenomenal football player, and if I were him, I wouldn't feel any different. But I do think that this is part of pro sports. When it gets handed to you, it's not going to play well to come out and be like, no, we're just as good, but it just didn't go our way that night, or we messed up. No, you didn't. Like, I'll give Dak Prescott sort of the opposite acknowledgement. I thought Dak in front of the microphone was great last night. He called it the most humbling game that he's ever been a part of in his entire career. There was no, well, I missed a couple throws and that could have changed the game. You didn't lose by 5. You lost by 32.
Yeah, and it wasn't that close is the thing.
No.
The Niners called off the Dogs with 13 minutes to go. And all of you Shanahan haters who have been agitating for him to use Christian McCaffrey less and load manage CMC, you got your wish. With 13 minutes to go, it was a wrap for Kittle. And McCaffrey actually had sat earlier in the first half. You got a lot of Jordan Mason. So he's hearing you people. He's starting to spell Christian McCaffrey a little bit along the way.
Still got over 20 touches. Does that surprise you?
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
21.
Right, because I'm looking at my game log here, and they bring Mason in. He goes for 7. He goes for 2. It's 3rd and 1. Let's bring him back in. Let's bring McCaffrey back in. 2 plays off. That's probably about enough of that.
Yeah, 41 carries in the game yesterday. 41 rushing attempts, obviously. 25 passing attempts, and that got out of whack in the fourth quarter when it was just run right, run left. Here's Dak Prescott after the game.
Didn't see it coming. As you said, put everything into this and got punched in the mouth. Called a couple of weeks ago humbling against Arizona, but this may be the most humbling game I've ever been a part of. Felt good about the preparation, felt good about everything, honestly, coming into this game, matchups, and they beat us in every aspect.
I mean, that's
the answer.
That's the truth. It's not just that it's the answer. But you're right. But like that's the truth.
But that comes across as a guy who understands what happened and has the class and the wherewithal to say, yeah, we got punched in the mouth. I got punched in the mouth. It was humbling. And, that's the proper way to handle that.
Yeah. I mean, Dallas, will the 49ers see them again? It's certainly on the table. I don't think Dallas is going to win the division. They're probably going to be a wild card team this year. That would be my guess. And so could that end up even being the 49ers' first opponent come playoff time?
Well, the first opponent's going to be BYE.
Correct.
If you do it right.
And
then you reseed and you would, probably play the lowest seeded team of the remaining.
Well, you're talking about getting the 1 seed, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, way too early for it, but it feels like if the Niners are able to grab that 1 seed, you got Philly and Detroit that are going to be playing the 2 and the 3 seed and hosting a couple of the other games. But, yeah, could Dallas be the top wild card and therefore an opportunity to go play Tampa Bay or whatever it is? Like, that's kind of the way it played out last year.
Yeah.
Dallas went on the road to the winner of the NFC South, totally ripped them apart. And then off you come to San Francisco. Very easily could happen again. Very easily. But that's a big if, Micah, that you're already looking forward to.
That's a huge if because you would have to get to that spot as a wild card team. And, sitting at 3-2, you've got Seattle at 3-1. You've got, Atlanta and New Orleans are both 3-2. And I think Dallas is better than both of those teams. But
Packers could be 3-2 in a few hours.
Exactly. It's going to be more competitive in the NFC than maybe we thought.
I agree. Yeah, the NFC West is better than we thought. The NFC South, I still don't love any of those teams, but they find a way to win football games. 3 of the 4 of them have winning records. So, it is going to be a little bit tougher this year. Ben in Fairfield here on Willard and Dibs. Hi, Ben. What you doing?
Work, fellas. Wanted to say what's up.
What's going on?
Yeah, just wanted to shout out some of I feel like the unsung heroes in the Niners second.
I'm not sure about your phone, Ben.
Yeah,
Are you still
sorry,
there?
Ben. Nah, he's gone.
There you go.
Try again, Ben.
Well, he wanted to shout out some people in the secondary, though. We did get that
Some
far.
of the unsung heroes in the secondary.
Ward was fantastic yesterday. I thought Ward was fantastic. I think Tashawn Gibson is probably the name that we utter the least in 49er football, which is actually a really good thing. There is a low-key sort of offensive line vibe when it comes to a defensive backfield. If we're not saying your name, that's a good thing because we're usually talking about the people who get burned a lot. And Hufanga has been solid, and Gibson has been solid. Ward has been fantastic. The guys on the other side have mostly done their jobs, the Lenores and the Olivers.
I think that's who Ben was going to shout out because Isaiah Oliver was following CeeDee Lamb all over the place. I think he followed him into the restroom at halftime. It's unconfirmed, but he was all over him. And if Oliver is going to be that good at manning up against good receivers on the other team, well, then you got no chance opposing offenses. And Gibson has been great to watch and, full neck tats and 30-something years old, 13-year veteran fitting right in with this team.
Well, the funny thing is about the way the Niners play football, that defensive line is so feared across the league that the defensive backfield, now I know sometimes they'll send them on a blitz or whatnot, and Hufanga roams a little bit more than Gibson does. If you're in that defensive backfield, the way back, the safeties, I don't know, man, you get most of the plays off. Obviously, I'm kidding. But like being challenged over the top, it felt like when Dak tried that last night, it was the first time I can remember somebody legitimately trying to go loop it up over the top, let's go on a go route, and try to beat the 49ers. He threw it over his receiver by 4 yards. It ended up in Gibson's hands, interception. Like, nobody's even trying to do that, let alone doing it without success.
They had the one down the sideline that I think it might have been Gallup where Fred Warner was in coverage. He got matched up man-to-man, and he was trailing.
Which is ridiculous, though, that Warner can even stay in that.
Right. He was only a few yards behind.
He's the best.
And Dak Prescott threw it into about the 7th row. And so that's a play that was there for the taking. It was well designed, and Dallas had it. Dak had the time to step up and make the throw, but he threw it way out of bounds.